Well, ladies and dudes, the long wait is finally over. I can finally get another movie review out of the way at long last. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop197. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, my friends, it's that time again for another movie review, and finally I'm gonna get this movie review out of the way at long last. So here it is, ladies and dudes, my next movie review that I have ever seen in movie theaters. So for my next movie review is Thor Ragnarok. And I will tell you this is a really good film, but not really the greatest film so far for the Marvel's universe. Well, I'll tell you why in a moment. But anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my next movie review that I seen in theaters called Thor Ragnarok. Or I think I should call it Thor 3. And about the other two Thor films, I'm not sure if I want to review them or not, since I'm getting left behind on those Marvel Universe films. I only did a few here or there. I will say for the first movie, it's pretty good, but not that great. The second one, I saw bits and pieces here and there on TV, but I'm not sure if I want to watch the whole thing. Maybe I'll wait and see what happens. But anyway, I'll go ahead and do Thor 3 to all of you. So let's get going on that movie review. I have nothing else to say about the main plot of the story. It's a story about it's up to Thor and his brother Loki to stop this very evil lady who is known as the goddess of death, who is going to take over their homeland of Asgard. And they really do need some help to find a way to save their homeland and try to take this evil lady down to the count. So they need help from our dear beloved, the Incredible Hulk, Hulk Smash, and some unknown female lady that came out of nowhere who's one of the toppest, greatest female warriors of all time. And all that stuff. So yeah, it's up to our heroes to stop this evil lady who is known as the goddess of death. They need to save their homeland in time before there's going to be a whole lot of chaos on the loose in the later on story of Thor Ragnarok. So I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth, ladies and dudes, I really do enjoy this movie. It's a pretty good movie, but not one of the best Marvel's films that I've seen so far. I did a couple of Marvel's movies here and there, and there's some of them that are pretty good, and there's some movies that I haven't seen yet. Or I did see on TV here and there, but anyway. I will say I do enjoy Thor 3 or Thor Ragnarok. I will say it had a good storyline for the most part, and the characters are pretty darn likable. I really do enjoy the score for some of it here and there. I like the CGI for the film. I really love the action scenes, the drama, and I will give this movie credit for some character development and chemistry for a couple of our favorite characters here and there. And also, it had a great near ending and the end of the film. So I will say, it's a good movie, but not really Marvel's best. So anyway, let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of Thor Ragnarok. For the strongest points for this movie, I'm gonna cut it nice and short because I don't want to spoil the whole thing of this movie, is the near ending and the end of Thor Ragnarok. I will say this. Well, if you guys remember my movie review of A Monster's Calls, I did tell you guys, without spoiling anything, I do enjoy the near ending and the end of the film. Something I'm really happy about, and I'm glad that this movie does release a very good positive note. And for this movie, it does have a very good positive note. I will say for the near end of the film, it has one of the best climactical feels I have ever seen in movie history. And as for the end of the movie, I will cut this ending nice and short, that Thor and Loki have finally got each other. That's all I could say about the two main important points for the film. Yeah, I will say out of all the Marvel movies I did see here and there, I will say Thor Ragnarok did have the best near ending and the end I have ever seen in Marvel's history. So that's all I could say about the strongest point for this movie is a two-way tie between the near ending and the end of the movie. And as for the weakest points for this movie, and this is the reason why it doesn't deserve to be one of the best Marvel films I have seen so far, I will say my biggest weakest point for this movie, it does drag the movie way too long. There's a couple of dragging moments here or there that I wasn't interested of. Yeah, there were a few boring scenes here and there, and I was kind of bored in this film just a little bit, but not that much. Yeah, there were some parts here and there that were dragged too long. Maybe somewhere around dab at the near middle or part of the middle of the film. And I think it has something to do with Thor and Loki being stuck in that weirdo planet that came out of nowhere. Or some of the parts here and there, what that lady who's known as the goddess of death, she wastes too much time on Asgard, if you know what I mean. Well, there were a few interesting things I do like about it here and there with both of those scenes. But, well, you get the story. That's all I could say about the weakest points for this movie is there's some of the scenes here and there that drag too long in the film, and a couple of boring scenes here and there. But not all that much, but just a little bit. And now let's go on to the characters. I will go with the three characters that I do enjoy of this movie. Two characters who have very good, huge roles in the film, while the other has a very short role in the film. I will go on with the first character who had a very short role in the film, and that is Doctor Strange, played by our dear beloved Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm so happy we see our dear beloved Doctor Strange again. After all, Thor Ragnarok did take place after the events of Doctor Strange. I will praise this movie for taking place of a movie that we were so darn familiar with. And yeah, I really love the part for what Benedict Cumberbatch did have in the movie where he helped out Thor to find the location of where his father is. And I do like a couple of interesting, crazy things here and there that happen in one epic scene in the whole entire movie. That was pretty darn awesome. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch still nail his character even to this day. I mean, this guy is pure awesomeness. He had a great personality, great attitude. He's such a good-looking superhero character, even for a short period of time, and I really love his cool magic tricks here and there in this film. Even when he took Loki into his prison for only 30 minutes and 30 minutes only. That was so darn awesome. So yeah, Doctor Strange is one cool character overall. And now let's go on to the two great main characters of the movie. Thor and Loki, played by Chris Hemsworth and Tom Wilson? It's so hard to pronounce his last name. I know I practiced his name a few times, but Tom Whittleston? I'm sorry if I did not pronounce your last name, but I did the best I could for it. All I can say about these two good main characters for the Thor saga, they were truly the best parts about the film. I mean, these two dudes had still nailed their characters even to this day. I mean, those two dudes had a great storyline, great personalities and attitudes. They are really cool, likable brother characters, and I'm still glad they still care about each other even to this day. And I'm glad they stick together as a whole all the way through to this film. I guess you could say the brotherhood between Thor and Loki were another good strongest point for the film. And since they stick together all the way through to this movie from start to finish, I mean, those two dudes had truly blew me away. And I really love the two actors who worked so hard to play our two beloved, memorable characters in all the Marvel's films. Even the films that came from the Thor saga to the Avengers saga and all that stuff. And yes, ladies and dudes, I will admit I want to see the Avengers 3, The Infinity War, Part 1. I think it might be a pretty enjoyable movie to watch. And it's going to be one of the most epic movies of all time in the year of 2018. I will check that one out very soon. Whenever I can get enough money to get one single ticket. So yep, I'll be looking forward to it, ladies and dudes. And now, ladies and dudes, here we go. The moment you've all been waiting for. My final thoughts of Thor Ragnarok. Overall, Thor Ragnarok is a pretty good movie, but not really the best Marvel's movie so far. I will say The Incredible Hulk and the first Iron Man is still the best ones for me so far. I will say the storyline is good for the most part. The characters are likable. I like some of the CGI moments of the film. It has great special effects, great action scenes, great drama, great score. And I fell in love with the near end and the end of the movie. And it's a good film to watch. So just hurry up and check out this movie before we see anything else. And please don't see the Justice League movie. Please don't. I beg of you. Don't see the Justice League movie. Please don't, okay? So for my rating for this film, I decided to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a good movie, like I said, but not really the best one so far. If you know what I mean. And that's my whole entire movie review of Thor Ragnarok. I hope you enjoyed this movie review. And join me next time for my next movie review to come. As we say goodbye to Carrie Fisher when she's going to appear her last and final movie of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. It's going to be tear-jerking. So, I'll see you all later, and sayonara.